Hi, everybody. Welcome to Lawless TV, the place to be if you want to make a difference in other people and make money. And she is a body positive weight coach. And welcome here to the show, Tsipa Swan. Tsipa, how are you?
I'm wonderful, Andrew. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, pleasure to have you here. Tell me, body positive weight coach, what does
Yes.
that mean? What do you do?
So I help women stop obsessing about food and become passionate about their bodies. A lot of times that does include weight loss. There are a lot of people who are overweight, over the weight they want to be. And there's so many cultural and societal reasons for that. There's so many reasons in our food supply and the miseducation that many people have gotten about food. And so people feel really disempowered about their relationship with food. And it's actually not their fault in a lot of ways. So I really love helping people discover why that is, re-educate themselves, and stop feeling like food rules their lives. And then at the same time, learn to love their bodies right now, and then creating a body that they just want to be in more.
And I have that too, right? I have type 1 diabetes and I shouldn't eat chocolate, but I crave it, And then of course,
Yes.
now I'm on a weight loss program myself, right? Because you know, but you're right. It's more the relationship with food and what it gives you. So how do you help people like me get over that?
Well, one of the first places I like to start is looking at the difference between the math and the drama of weight and of weight loss. There's basically, we've kind of just piled it all into one thing, and it feels terrifying and huge and like unconquerable. And the math of weight loss is, what foods do you need to eat, when, how much? It's very factual, logical information.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Right. And that's what most diet books cover. They cover, they're like, here's what you eat, here's when you eat it. And it's very logical and easy to understand. The difficulty comes in with the drama, because the drama is everything that your brain tells you when you try to follow that plan. The drama like, but I want it, but I love that stuff, but I'll never be able to eat my favorite foods again. But, if you're used to stress eating, emotional eating, and you don't have that food to comfort you, to make you feel better, what do? Your brain freaks out, and your brain loves the food that makes us fat. Like, our brains just love it. Our brain loves sugar so much. Our brain thinks sugar is the greatest thing that's ever happened. It's like second to heroin. It's like so addictive. So when your brain doesn't get it, when you're like, hey, let's eat more salad instead of chocolate pie, your brain is like, but I need it. And your brain will tell you anything to get it. It'll tell you the worst possible things to try to get more of its hit. And so we work on the drama as well as the education, the education of what foods you want to eat to really nourish your body, and then the dealing with the drama and feeling better about your body, creating thoughts about your body that just feel better.
So drama always comes up, right? So
Yeah.
What's the drama in all of that? It's like straightforward, right? I want to lose 20 pounds on a diet plan. So what's the drama?
So one thing that I noticed when I first started eating the way I now eat, I do intermittent fasting. I love it. I don't eat breakfast. I think it's completely changed my life. I have so much more energy. It's just, for me, it's really great. It's not a thing that a lot of people, or not a thing that everybody chooses to do, and that's fine. But when you make a big change like that, when you're like, okay, I'm going to try this new thing, your brain is going to tell you all of the reasons why that is definitely going to lead to your immediate death. Like my coach, Brooke Castillo.
Yeah.
I trained with Brooke Castillo. Yeah.
I don't know her personally, but I know of her. She's great.
Her work's amazing. So I trained with her in person. And I remember when she introduced this idea that you don't need to eat all the time. Like you can go many hours without eating. Like I regularly go 16, 20 hours without eating. And the first time she introduced that, I was like, no. Absolutely not. You are crazy. You don't know my body. Like my brain freaked out. I was like, that's insane. I will die. I have low blood sugar. You don't know my life. Like, I was offended when she said it. And all of that is just drama that my brain was creating to keep me eating the way that I had been eating when I was heavier, and I was sluggish and lethargic. And I really didn't feel like I could function unless I ate every 2 or 3 hours. And now I have all this freedom, because when my brain tells me something like, that's definitely going to kill you. I'm like, let's look at the facts. Thank you for your input, brain. I appreciate my animal brain's trying to keep me alive. It loves me. So thank you for the input, brain. Let's look at the facts and let's actually try this out. And in fact, there's many things that we're told about food that just don't hold up scientifically.
So what's your work then? Are you going to rewire my brain, or?
Absolutely.
And how do you do that?
So I do a lot of thought work. Brooke she teaches a method called the model, which I use with all my clients.
Is that the time when you usually take out your whiteboard? Is that,
Yes,
your famous whiteboard? Hey.
Yeah, so this is the model. I've written it out here. And when we talked earlier, I know you had just some wonderful stuff to say. Do you want to volunteer yourself as the guinea pig for this model?
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah.
All right. So our circumstance what circumstance you want to work on? I know we're talking about weight loss. You said you're doing weight loss. Do you want to talk about, like, is it just your body, the way you think about your body, or is it the number on the scale? Like, what's the thing you want to look at?
I just, like I give workshops. I'm on stage a lot, right? So I'm on camera sometimes, and I just don't feel great about myself, right? So who wants to listen to a guy on stage who's fat? That's
okay. That's a great one. I love that one. Who wants to listen to a guy?
I said that wrong. It's like, who wants to listen to me when I'm fat? That is the better. Yeah.
Okay. So basically so when we have a question, we want to answer the question. And I'm assuming the answer is no one, right? Your brain tells you no one wants to listen to a guy who's fat.
Nobody wants to listen to me who's fat. There are a lot of overweight people that have their great following, right? So, but I don't think that I should be portraying that, given my messages and the positive lifestyle image that I like to convey to people. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so the thought is nobody wants to listen to me when I'm fat.
Yeah.
And the circumstance there is just you have a body, right? So I'm going to put human body in our circumstance line. So just to briefly explain, the circumstance is a neutral fact. Sorry?
How can I get a great body though?
We got to start where we are. Let's assess where we are. Got to be familiar with this and got to be comfortable with the discomfort of where we are. So the circumstance is a neutral fact. It's something you could prove in court, or something if you had 50 people in a room, they'd all agree. So the circumstance we picked is human body. Like, you have a human body, right?
Right.
We can all agree on that.
Yeah. I hope. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a human body.
Human body, Andrew Lawless version. So the thought that you're having about your body is nobody wants to listen to me when I'm fat, right? So then we want to look at what feeling does that create when you think that?
Oh, that makes me feel less worthy, right? So
unworthy.
Less inspirational, less authentic, right? For sure.
Okay. Yeah. Which one's the strongest? We want to pick the one strongest feeling that thought gives you. No one wants to listen to me when I'm fat. Like, really, like,
less authentic for sure. Yeah.
Okay, less authentic. Okay, so then when you feel less authentic, so the way this works is our thoughts create our feelings. Oops, there's my ring light. Sorry. Our feelings create our actions, and our actions create our results. Right. So we're just going to go down this. This is like making math out of drama. This is what I love about the model. We're just making math out of drama. So your thought is, no one wants to listen to me when I'm fat, and that makes you feel less authentic. So when you feel less authentic, how do you show up in the world? How do you show up for your business, for your clients, for yourself?
Oh, less energetic. I have more self-doubts. I think more about, what could go wrong, yeah.
Okay. How do you eat when you feel less authentic?
I actually eat worse, so yeah. That's actually when I travel a lot, and, then you, on the road, it's like, I like to eat alkaline as much as I can, but during travel, it's very hard. So, and then just give up on the entire thing, So.
Oh, okay. So you also doubt your own plan, right? You have this plan to eat alkaline on your travels, and you actually doubt your own plan when you feel less authentic.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. So doubt is an action. We just kind of don't think of it as, we think of it as something that happens to us, like I feel doubtful, but actually we're also choosing to actively doubt ourselves, to think doubtful thoughts. So then when you doubt yourself and you think bad things about yourself and you eat worse and you doubt your own plan, we're going to look at what results do you get from that? So when you doubt yourself and you think bad thoughts about yourself, what result do you get from that? How do you feel?
Oh, I just continue to eat worse, right? Or eating, continue to eat bad and eat worse, right? It falls apart from there, and then the opposite happens. Right? I gain more weight.
Yeah. And how do you feel when you're gaining weight?
Well,
like when you're doubting yourself and you're thinking bad thoughts about yourself, what do you feel?
Well, then I'm actually going like, see, I knew it. I can't do it. It's like, now I need to review my entire life. And am I doing the right thing? And am I the right person to go on stage and tell other people how to have a better life?
So you get a negative feedback loop.
Make money with it because I'm not that authentic, So,
right. Right. And so you gain weight because you're eating worse. And then when you doubt your own plan, then what I'm hearing is that there's like a cascade effect where you doubt yourself and then you doubt the plan, you doubt yourself more and you.
Does it not happen to everybody? Is that just me?
It totally happens. And I'm going to show you why. Okay. So I'm going to put cascade of negativity.
Yep.
And the reason is because when we've got this circumstance, human body, right? That's just neutral.
Right.
No one wants to listen to me when I'm fat and you feel less authentic. So then you doubt yourself, you think bad things about yourself, you eat worse and you doubt your own plan. And then the result is that you are feeling justified in your negativity. You're in a negative loop, you gain weight and you have a cascade of negativity. And I'm going to put here, you also feel doubtful, right? When you actively doubt yourself, you feel doubtful.
Right.
And so then we look at those results and the results are always going to, I didn't leave myself much room. The results are always going to justify the original thought.
Oh, yeah, totally. And then
that's that loop. That's a loop, you see. So then what we can do is say, all right, what is another thought that you could think about your body? Like that feels maybe not as habitual or as familiar as no one wants to listen to me when I'm fat, but feels a little bit better. It might feel a little bit new, but still like you could believe it. So like one I like a lot is I have a human body.
Oh, the other thoughts like I'm still sexy.
I'm still sexy. Oh, I love that. Get down with your bad self. All right. So when you think I'm still sexy, how do you feel?
Oh, I feel good about myself. My entire post just changes,
Yeah, right?
Yeah,
so what feeling would you call it? Would you call it proud or turned on or authentic or?
Happy, proud, all of the above, for sure.
Okay. You tell me which one you like. Which one do you like the best?
I would like the best confident.
Ooh, confident. Yeah. Nice. Okay. When you feel confident, what do you do in terms of your thinking, in terms of your eating, in terms of your actions?
Oh, I eat better. I have more energy. I go there. I do more. I go places. I have ideas. I'm creative. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so some of those are actions and some of those are results. So I'm going to parse them out a little bit. So you eat better, you do more, you go places. How are you thinking when you're feeling confident? Like what thoughts do you choose to tell yourself about yourself?
Oh, good thoughts, right? So then, I like the way what I'm wearing and, and my haircut, even my glasses. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So when you do all those things, you are, you're creating better results, right? So when you eat better, what results do you create? Like the easy ones. When you're eating better, like, are you losing weight or are you gaining weight?
I'm losing weight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably, I mean, even if you're not losing weight, you're not gaining weight when you're eating better.
I have my energy, right? So I move more, right? So perhaps also, yeah.
Right. So you have more energy and you do more and you go places. So you create evidence for yourself that you believe in yourself, right? So then if you do more and you go places, you have more evidence that you deserve to be confident.
Yeah, totally. So
And you're still sexy.
yeah, it's like, you know, where focus goes, energy flows. Yeah.
Exactly. And when you think good thoughts about yourself, how do you feel?
Awesome.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Sexy.
So those results, you know, we've got, I'm still sexy. That makes you feel confident. You, oh, sorry, came off camera. That you feel better, you eat better, you eat better, you do more, you go places, and you think good thoughts about yourself. And that leads to losing weight, having more energy, having more evidence that you are still sexy, and then feeling awesome. And all of that proves this thought, I'm still sexy. But we didn't change the circumstance. Like, you haven't lost weight during this conversation.
Correct.
You haven't started bench pressing while we're talking. You just decided, I'm going to think a different thought.
Yeah.
And that creates these other results for you. And so when we do these models, what we get to see is it's easy for us to think, and there's been a lot of, I mean, basically it's just generational trauma and systemic trauma coming down. And we have this idea that if we think poorly enough of ourselves, we'll feel terrible enough that we actually take action. But that's not where action comes from. Action does not come from feeling shitty about yourself, or feeling like you're worthless, or feeling hopeless about your prospects of changing anything. Action that gets you where you want to go comes from feeling confident, from feeling hopeful, from feeling compassionate for yourself, from, positive emotions.
Yeah.
And so many of us are taught not to give ourselves positive emotions about our bodies until we've achieved a certain look, a certain, weight, a certain, amount of muscle, a certain, butt size. If you follow the Kardashians, like, there's a lot of information out there that's saying that our self-approval and our self-worth and our love for our own bodies is contingent upon circumstances. It's contingent upon these other things. And some of them are in our control, but none of them justify feeling bad about ourselves. None of them justify thinking, wow, my body sucks.
So are you more a life coach then, or a weight loss coach?
For me, it doesn't separate, because I love dealing with weight loss. I think it is so much fun. For me, it's like, that's where humanness begins, because when you don't feel comfortable in your own body, none of the rest of that stuff is really going to make that okay. When you feel judging about yourself, when you feel judgmental about yourself and unkind towards yourself, and you just berate yourself about your body and in your body, you're not going to be able to manage your body. You're not going to be able to manage your relationship with your body. Your relationship is just your thoughts about your body. And when you don't have that, you are missing out on the most immediate beauty of being a human being, which is getting to have a physical experience in the world. It's getting.
How did you get into this? Sounds like that you experienced you must experience something yourself, right? So in order to take that on as your vision in life.
Thank you. Yeah. So, well, for me, I actually have been on that journey myself for a very long time. I grew up bullied and nerdy. I was the biggest nerd. And so I was just a total bookworm, and I stayed inside. I didn't do anything physical. And anytime I tried, it was always like dodgeball. And I don't know how it was where you grew up, but dodgeball is a form of torture that teachers allow other children to perform on each other. It's terrible. Nobody let your kids play dodgeball. And so I really grew up very afraid of physical activity, because I thought I associated it with being picked on. And so I kept shying away from it and getting more bookish. And I ended up developing in succession a couple of autoimmune problems. I had tachycardia, which is just fast heart rate kind of all the time. And then a few years after that, I started developing really clear symptoms of a juvenile onset form of arthritis. And it's called ankylosing spondylitis, for anybody who also has that. And I put that into remission through changing my diet, just looking at what was inflammatory, and also being like, I really see the difference in being kind to myself, because autoimmune disorders are when your body attacks itself. And when you continuously think unkind, hateful, judgmental thoughts about yourself, your body will start responding that way. There's actually there's a branch of science called psychoneuroimmunoendocrinology. It's the long name for it, but there's a wonderful book called When the Body Says No by Gabor Mate, and he looked very extensively at the psychological profiles of people with certain conditions like Parkinson's and multiple sclerosis and Alzheimer's, and looked at their psychological profiles and found that they actually match up. Groups of people who have these diseases have similar psychological profiles. So we can see there's a lot of evidence that when you think about yourself and your body in a certain way, your body takes it on.
And how then? So you had all those. You had all those.
Yeah. So I went through this process, and I had another autoimmune condition come up, and I just was like, okay, I've always been on a self-growth path, and I was just like, I have to figure out this whole living in a body thing because it felt very foreign to me because I hadn't practiced it. I hadn't enjoyed it. I hadn't done it. I wasn't comfortable with physical activity. And so the last few years, I've done a ton of intellectual and emotional and spiritual growth. And then over the last few years, I've really been focusing on living in my body and enjoying my body. And so I did a number of things. I took burlesque. I did this, I know you know of Mama Gina's program, Mama Gina's School of Womanly Arts. I did that. That's very body positive. And I started running last year, and then I started strength training. And last September, I decided to I was listening to some of my materials from my teaching, from my trainings, and realized that I've been mistreating my body by eating sugar and flour. And because I was eating sugar and flour to manage my emotions. And these substances really make your dopamine go up, and they feel good. It feels, your brain gives you that little pump of, yeah, that's better. But I was using it as comfort because I wasn't managing my emotions. And I realized, wow, I'm really not being kind to my body because I'm not taking responsibility for how I feel. I'm making my body do the work. I'm making my liver and my kidneys and my pancreas work harder to process things that aren't good for me because I don't feel good in my emotions. And I'm going to fix that. I'm going to change that. I'm not going to do that to myself. So for me, that was the turning point. And I just love it so much. It's the most fun. I think it's so much fun. And I found that it's so powerful for women especially, and for men. But there's this thing that happens in people when they discover that they actually can have a different relationship with food, that they can manage the food instead of the food managing them. And everything becomes possible all of a sudden. It's absolutely amazing, gorgeous.
Yeah, I learned about the program actually from one of my coaches, Angela Lauria of the Author Incubator.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, you know her? Yeah.
I know of her. Yeah.
Yeah, and so that entire example totally changed also how I write my books and how I model my coaching program. So it's very, very powerful. So if people the viewers here want to get, hopefully many of them want to get in touch with you, how can they contact you?
I'm on Facebook. I'm Tsipa Swan, Tsipa, last name Swan. I'm the only Tsipa Swan on the planet, so you can look me up and you can friend me.
That's not the most common name, right? But
not the most common name. My website is, sorry?
We will tag you, and we will put
please do.
Your contact information in the comment box, and wherever you watch it, there, somewhere, right? So,
And my website is tsipaswan.com, and my email is very simple. If you can spell my name, you can find me in the world. tsipa@tsipaswan.com. I like to keep it all the same so that if you've learned to spell my name, you can find me anywhere. So, yeah, please get in touch.
Super. So thanks for watching, everybody. So check out Tsipa. The links are here. And I see you next week. And in the meanwhile, stay amazing.
Thanks.